it's one thing to call yourself something. It's another thing to call somebody else something. So when you say I'm a mark for Rihanna and I'm a mark for Howard Stern, it's fine. You can call yourself that. But when you label somebody else something that in the context of professional wrestling, in the context of history, means sucker, rube, someone who's been fooled, it is offensive. Could you see that?
Matt, that's where we're going to have the disagreement, because I don't look at it as sucker. I don't look at it as sucker. Like, we can go right back to the Carney days. That guy at the carnival spending $50 at every booth, he's doing it because that's what he enjoys. I do not call it sucker. Sucker does not enter my mind. You are spending money on something you enjoy. So, like, when I say in that context, bro, Matt, from the bottom of my heart, I don't think it's derogatory at all.
But
I really don't.
If somebody thinks what you're saying about them is derogatory, isn't part of words, language, not just what you intended to be, but how it's perceived by them?
No, because they're perceiving it incorrectly. When we go back to the origins of what the word mark means, the word mark means that this guy drops a lot of money.
So Bruce Mitchell would agree with you. I've talked to Bruce Mitchell about this term, and he says a mark is pure and simple a paying customer. That's what he believes.
Yes.
So,
and you earn your money, bro. Whatever you want to spend your money on is up to you.
So let's talk about the writers a little bit. With the term mark, Dave Meltzer makes a living doing it. Brian Alvarez makes a part of his living doing that. He also owns a jiu-jitsu school. Wade Keller makes a good living doing it. Bruce Mitchell is a teacher who also makes money and does it for a living as far as being a writer of wrestling. How are these people marks? It sounds like the only thing that makes them marks is that they have bought into a line of thinking that you don't agree with.
Because they're not being honest with who they really are. Matt, I can tomorrow, bro, because I've been schooled in this for 50 years. I tomorrow can do a podcast on Major League Baseball. I could do one tomorrow, okay? But I would know from the get-go and make it clear, bro, I've never been in the professional baseball business. I've never been in a professional team's locker room. I've not been associated with any professional baseball teams. Therefore, I am doing this show literally as a super fan. That's who I am, bro. That's my background. And even though I may be making money from this show, at the end of the day, I do not have the credentials to back me up as a professional. I am a fan who loves this and has been following this for years. When you say that about these guys, they look at that as an insult. No, bro, it's not an insult. It's reality. And I don't know why you have such a problem saying that. If you said that, bro, there would be no issue.
You said to me once, and Pete, we really should release the text messages you and I have back and forth because they're pretty fascinating sometimes, about Alvarez. We were talking about Alvarez once, and we were talking about his professional wrestling credentials, you know. And I've heard you say before that if you're not in the business, you've never been in the ring, and then when Alvarez comes, you and he has been in the ring a lot and recently, and he said, and you said to me, the difference is when you make your living doing it, you know.
Yeah.
So Meltzer makes his living doing it, and he has for a long time. How is he less credentialed than a Peter Gammons? You know, or a Mike Lupica.
Because Matt, I can do a baseball podcast and make my living off of that. Okay, but that doesn't mean I'm a professional. That's not what I can do a show about anything and make money off of it. It doesn't mean I'm a professional.
So what separates Meltzer and Keller from the Mike Lupicas and the Peter Gammons
Because
of the
they
baseball
have
world.
access. They have access. These guys don't have, bro. If you don't have access to the bro, if you're a wrestling journalist and you don't have access to the WWE, then you're just like everybody else.
There's press conferences with Triple H where these guys are in there and Triple H calls on them, though. Like, they're treated like that. Also,
Are they allowed in locker rooms?
we're talking about...
Are they allowed, Matt, are they allowed in locker rooms? Do they interview Vince McMahon? Does Dave Meltzer have a microphone and he's interviewing Vince McMahon?
You're judging professional wrestling like other sports, and professional wrestling is very different. They have this omerta, this secret code. When Meltzer and Keller started reporting on the real happenings behind them, you know the biggest issue they had, the wrestlers in the wrestling world, the Pritchards, not so much Shivani's, the Pritchards and the Cornettes had with these writers was that they were telling our secrets. It's different. It's not like in baseball it was a secret how to get a triple.
Not today, Matt. Matt, not today.
But
there are no secrets. A guy like Sam Roberts, he's allowed to talk to WWE talent. I consider him legit. He's talking to these people.
But you know there's a rule set if you're leaded. You know that the WWE, you can't go in the WWE and say the word Chris Benoit. Like, you cannot say the word Chris Benoit and ever get access again. In baseball, in Major League Baseball, you can say Roberto Clemente, you can say Kurt Flood. There's no topics that will get you banned forever. I mean, you have to play ball to work with them.
Okay, but Matt, it's a combination of they don't have access. They talk to nobody on the record. Mike Lupica isn't going to say, "Oh, I heard from an unnamed baseball player." Mike Lupica is going to say who it is. So they never mention a name, which means they do not have direct access to any of these guys. And also, it's the way, like I said earlier, Matt. If you want to be perceived a certain way, then, bro, you've got to carry yourself in that manner.